I'd consider that. And he contacted us. I think I have an obligation to listen to him and see what's available. Would we reach out and contact a guy on another team? Absolutely not.
Does their sanctions make Pennsylvania an even more fertile area for you?
Oh, I've always had great respect for Pennsylvania high school football. I went and spoke at the Big 33 this year, and I think Ohio, Pennsylvania, I think that's great football. Always have been. You know, I recruited Pennsylvania when I was at Notre Dame. I recruited Pennsylvania when I was at Bowling Green. We have some very good players on last year's recruiting class. We took a couple out of Pennsylvania, and I think it's well coached, and you get tough guys.
You're kind of in a similar situation as Penn State this year, where neither of you are in a bowl. Coach Ryan said he's handling that by telling this kid you're playing a bowl game every home game for 8,000 people. How are you handling it? How is this team handling your 1 year later?
Well, I'm learning these players. If you have to, you know, we're going to line up. I'm trying to get a team ready to play a game, and we're going to try to win that game. And then the next week we'll do the same thing. And our focus is our focus is so strong on just getting a team ready. I hope it doesn't come down to me having to sell. If I have to sell things to a team, I'm talking about our team, we're probably not very good. If I tell them that we have to block and tackle very well and take care of the ball and execute our offense and defense, that's how you win. And I've had teams like that. That's really cool. I like coaching teams like that. If there's some extra motivation I have to give them, we'll do it because that's our job. And we'll do it. We'll do it probably pretty good. But I'll tell you right now, we're probably not very good. And we're not going to win a lot of games.
Is there a way that you can replace or counter the motivation of having a bowl game? If here you don't have that motivation?
I don't know. I'm going to lean on these guys. You know, in January I got asked that question. I didn't know Zach from, you know, I knew him because I knew he was a good player and I watched a little film on him. But now I know these are grown men. I'm going to lean on their advice as we get going through the season because obviously there's more invested. What you deal with on a team is you deal with a bunch of young players that are zero investment or little, and then you got a bunch of older guys that are very invested, and you lean on the invested players on their advice. If we have to do the song and dance and motivation and all the things you have to do to motivate a team, like I said, we'll do it. I'm hoping these guys report back to me saying, Coach, we're good. We want to go get first downs and win games. And my feeling as getting into the season, I don't think there's going to have to be a whole lot of tricky motivation. We're going to go try to execute at a high level.
You guys as a team, just amongst yourselves, how you're able to
I would say personally, as a team, I don't think you have to motivate a group of guys, young guys that are very competitive to win a game. I mean, as soon as we step on that field, regardless whether we're playing for national championship or we're in practice, we want to win. So I don't think there's much motivation needed. You know, we're going to step on the field with the intent to win every game, and that's how we're approaching everything.
Could each of you guys talk about what you think the biggest factors will be in your success? What does this team have to do to get you back on your feet?
We have to, go out and compete every Saturday, but we also have to be able to put the time in each week and prepare for each team. And, like these guys have been saying, every game is a big game, especially in the Big Ten, and we need to send a message to the young players that, we need that winning attitude back after last year's season, and we're going to go out each game and, compete. That's what we've been going on all off season so far, is just competing, and that's what we're going to keep on doing.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to make sure that throughout the season and in training camp we're not taking any day for granted, and we're putting the work in that we need every day to make it a successful season. And if we do that, then we'll have no regrets at the end.
I mean, just like those guys touched upon, pretty much the same thing. I think, if we run well, we score a lot of points, we tackle well, I think we'll win. And I think that's the formula for success.
I'm more than ready.
You enjoyed the process, Ohio State and settling in.
Well, the thing I knew Ohio State, and it's been a dream to come home, and and plus being a year away from it, I just appreciate that much more. I thought I was done. I thought I was over coaching because for a variety of reasons. I had a great experience in Florida. I love Florida. I will always be a Gator. And then an opportunity arose that I didn't anticipate, and that just makes the anticipation that much greater. That and several other reasons, but that was the number one reason. Yeah, and I was prepared to not coach. And then this one was different.
I wouldn't say it's bigger just because it's the biggest rivalry in all sports. You know, the game's always big no matter what. You know, I would say that, you know, Coach Hoke has a great program going, and they're definitely on the rise. And, you know, I think that makes us excited, you know, just because we want that big rivalry back. You know, they got us last year, and we're expecting a big game this year. You know, I believe they're going to have a great season, and hopefully we do as well, and hopefully it will be a big game. Right. Yeah, I mean, it'll be exciting, especially it'll be our senior day, you know, so it'll be our last time playing in the shoe. You know, I don't think, you know, we're going to dwell on the bowl game too much. I think after that game we'll be more sad that it'll be our last time putting on the scarlet and gray, and, you know, we'll all be sad that was our last time playing together, you know, because we've really bonded this off season, and, you know, we're a tight family, and it's going to be hard, you know, not playing one or two more games after that.
Yeah, they're not fully reinstated. We allowed them. Coach Mick has assisted me with this, bits and pieces. They're back in the locker room now. They had to pay for their. It was a very expensive mistake. They had to pay for their entire summer meals, summer school. They have a series of things they have to take care of. They have taken care of, which I would anticipate with the kind of kids they are. And obviously it's 8 days away. I would anticipate next Friday they show up with a team. If something happens between then and there, then they won't. But as of now, they're on course to show up next Friday. Yes. Not that I know of, no. As of today, no. I'm anticipating him not being part of the club.
With what happened at Ohio State and Penn State, has that impacted the image of the league?
The image of the league? Sure.
How do you think it's impacted?
Well, I think in a negative light. I think there's a lot of competitiveness between conferences right now. You know, I witnessed it in the Southeastern Conference for 6 years that, you know, back in '06, the SEC wasn't the kingpin. It wasn't the, we felt we deserved a shot to go play in a national title game and almost didn't get it. So that there's a lot of competition, and right now we just have to move forward, which under our leadership of Mr. Delaney and our coaches and our ADs and our presidents, I anticipate that the image will be restored. Very good question. What's our definition of success? Is that the question? I'm not prepared to answer that. I'll probably, I'm sure I'll get asked that again. I'm not just brushing you off. I just don't like to babble. But I don't know that yet. I'll tell you after I see these guys next Friday and throughout 2 days, I think we're going to be pretty good. But I'll tell you if not. I mean, you guys have heard me say that. If we're not very good, I'll tell you. But I anticipate we're going to have a very good team.
How is the talent you have in the kind of offense that you like to run, the talent that's in place right now?
We're good at certain positions. We're not, I don't want to say not good. We're just behind a little bit. Maybe they performed this well this summer that I'm going to, you know, I've had that happen before. Where all of a sudden you walk in, because they work all summer, and my understanding is they have worked. Our areas of weakness are offensive skill and throwing and catching. And it improved during spring practice, not to the level that Ohio State deserves. So we'll find out. That's my biggest concern. But you have very strong tight ends. You have, I think, the best fullback in college football, which he's going to do a lot more than fullback. So we're going to have to do a good job of the coaching staff to utilize their skills. So we're good enough. The only area is offensive skill.
You talked about the rush to Jacksonville State. Last year during the Michigan game, kind of looked like a raw choice to make this first game against Michigan. I know there were a lot of
Yeah, I know Coach Meyer when he first got here put a lot of pressure on Braxton to step up as a leader and get control of the offense, and um, wanted him to do a lot of things. And I think he stepped up to the plate, and grown as a person and a leader. And he's working every day with the wide receivers, and trying to make them as good as possible, trying to make that group as good as possible, because they all reflect each other. And I just think he's doing a great job. He's being more vocal, trying to take control of the offense, and he's really becoming a man, in front of all of us.
Braxton? Yeah, the quarterback's got it. It's like the middle linebacker on defense. It's like he has to take control of the passing game, and I'll be able to tell real quick if he did that. The reports I'm getting back are very positive, but I can't say that because I'm going to hold back my judgment until I watch. There's only one way to have a good passing attack. You have to have a leader quarterback. How he throws the ball, his release, his 40-yard time, all that are insignificant. Is he a good leader? Because to throw the football effectively, you can't learn that during training camp. That has to be spent in an inordinate amount of time. It's easy. It's much easier to run the ball than throw it.
How much of his potential is he tapped? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. My initial reaction after coaching and working with that position for a long time and having I look back one day, I just played golf with my old quarterback at Utah, Alex Smith. You go from Josh Harris to Alex Smith to Tim Tebow, Chris Leak. I think he has incredible potential.
Etienne, a very young linebacker core. You're the one exception. Chase doesn't play like these guys. Are you taking a lot of these guys under your wings?
When it comes to the linebackers, I'm impressed with a lot of these guys. I think the work ethic in that room is phenomenal. Coming from, down from Luke Roberts, guys who got here in the spring, to guys who just walked in, David Perkins and, those guys. Their want to get better is something I haven't seen, since I've been here, and I think it's going to show. I'm excited to see what they can do, and I'm excited for the season. Curtis is a student of the game. He's one of those guys that's constantly calling me, wanting to watch film, calling Coach Fickle, I want to watch film, I want to do this. Can you help me with my drops? Can we go hit the sled? Like, Kurt, let's take a nap or something. But you have to love that. He's a guy who's driven. He wants it. He wants to be great. He's a student of the game. He's like a sponge. He absorbs everything you tell him. He's picking everybody's brain left and right, and it's just stuff you love to see. And I'm excited to see him play.
You guys, maybe more so than any other team in the league, kind of relate to what Penn State is going to do this year and beyond?
I think it's a different situation. I don't know enough about that situation to speak on it, but I just think it's a different situation, so I really don't know enough to comment on it.
With what's going through us this year and what all came down December, like Vino said, we don't know much about the situation. The only thing that I think us three would say to their players is that, it's a tough situation because the whole world's looking at you, and a lot of their upperclassmen have to bond together. That's kind of when you become a family, become close, and that's kind of when I feel like we started taking off as a team, you kind of have to have the us against the world mentality and, stick together, have each other's back, and you'll be able to fight through it.